Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So I have some more bullish indicators to show you guys. Bullish indicators for Bitcoin. We know Bitcoin has been doing very well over the past week. We had a little bit of a retracement last night, but things are looking back on track. But let me show you what's really fascinating about these indicators, especially since one of them was seen as a very bearish thing, now turned bullish. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell. And follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest articles on CryptosRUs.com. All right, welcome, guys. Welcome. I started a little bit late today, had a late morning. So let me change. All right, here we go. Starting with Bitcoin. Obviously, yesterday afternoon, we had a pretty good and exciting day when Bitcoin almost hit 41,000. Then throughout the afternoon and nighttime, it slid down to about 36,400. And then this morning, it recovered back up to about 39, and now we're about 37.7. But anyways, obviously a lot more exciting now than the previous, few weeks or months when Bitcoin is stuck at a much lower price. And obviously, there was a lot of reasons for that. Bitcoin just needed to move. It was too stagnant for too long. There's rumors about Amazon getting in and other big players getting in. And of course, we had a ton of liquidations. There was a massive short squeeze, as you see here. And, unfortunately at night, too many people, started to gamble, started to leverage on the long, and some longs got liquidated. But today, it's actually about even. Both sides are even, but you could obviously see that the short squeeze over here did make an impact on Bitcoin's price. Now, today, Bitcoin is recovering, but why did it come down a little bit? Well, I think it came down a little bit because there's some fear in the broader market. All right, so overall market isn't doing too good, especially tech, with NASDAQ being down almost 2%. And this is caused by two things. Fear of China continuing to sell off. China's stock market has not been doing well, has been selling off quite a bit, and a lot of fund managers and VCs are selling off their Chinese-based stocks. Also, take a look at this headline. CDC to reverse indoor mask policy, saying fully vaccinated people should wear them indoors. So the pandemic, Delta variant, whatever other variant, right, is still causing a scare. It is still spreading, and people are getting antsy about, whether or not this is going to lead to something worse, or is this ever going to be over? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's just going on, right? So that's why the overall market is actually not doing too well. But you know what? Bitcoin is holding steady today, so that is definitely a positive, very, very positive indeed. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to these bullish indicators. Starting with this one. I saw this headline and I knew I had to talk about it. For the past 2, 3, 4 weeks, people have spun this as a very, very bearish event. And I'm talking about Grayscale, Bitcoin, trust unlocking. Okay? A lot of people seem to use this as a catalyst to drive FUD, saying, well, all these rich guys, all these institutions that bought GBTC, well, now they can sell after 6 months, right? And there's so much GBTC shares that's going to be unlocked and panic dumped. Well, it's definitely going to affect the market. It's going to drive Bitcoin lower. And I was hearing this again and again and again, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. We're talking about GBTC shares. We're not talking about Bitcoin. You can't redeem Bitcoin. So why does it matter? It doesn't matter if there is a ton of GBTC shares that is unlocked. Even the premium dropped even lower because at the time it was about 15%. Even if it dropped to 30 or 40 or 50 or negative 100% premium versus the NAV, who cares? It doesn't affect Bitcoin. It just makes it more attractive for people that want to get in GBTC shares. and buy low and profit from it, right? Buy low, sell high. So now we're seeing how, yes, it did not affect the overall Bitcoin market, but now you're starting to see that premium climb up. So I mentioned it was about negative 15%. So according to, I think this is also called Bybit, not associated with the exchange. Now that has dropped down to 5.88%. So it recovered by 10%. That's very positive. It shows that institutions or retail investors are actually FOMOing in to GBTC. And it makes sense because Cathie Wood and others have been buying millions and millions and millions of GBTC, probably not through Grayscale, because if you're buying through Grayscale, it would actually be silly when you can get it at a discount right now just through the open market. So that is obviously very positive. As this climbs up, the author of this story argues that, well, just like the golden times when GBTC was actually at a premium, not a negative premium, that shows that the demand is there. And if Bitcoin continues to go up, this will turn and flip back into the positive territory, which could be very, very good. It's seen as a very bullish indicator for Bitcoin. Now, what's interesting about this, and I don't know if this is 100% accurate, you could see that Ethereum's trust is at negative 7.1%. Ethereum Classic is at negative 22%. So literally no institutions want Ethereum Classic. So I think, Grayscale and Barry, they backed ETC hard, and that's just, right now, it's not really working that well. But look at this. I can't tell if this is true. For Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash Trust, there's a positive 176% premium on Litecoin and 126% on Bitcoin Cash. Is this really true? Is there really this much demand for Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash? That's yet to be determined. So that is very interesting. I don't know why that is off, but obviously the volume and the total holdings of both of those pales in comparison to how much Grayscale holds in terms of Bitcoin and Ethereum and even Ethereum Classic. So that's very interesting and very bullish if this starts turning to the positive. But again, my point of this is not that. My point is it is a bullish indicator, but also this is one of the things. It was a big FUD driver. You guys know. All these people went on all these channels, and all these channels were claiming that GBTC, unlocking was going to be a big thing for Bitcoin. You're going to have massive dumping. No, none of that happened. It didn't make any sense. It's just dumping of shares. And plus, I argued that these guys will probably not be dumping because they would be dumping into the red. They would be selling at a loss. Why would they do that? These guys are some of the strongest hands on Wall Street. They would not do that. But, let's just end with that. There's one other thing in here that shows you that Purpose Bitcoin ETF is now climbing back up. Again, kind of shows you institutions do FOMO in too. So this shows you, this is from Canada, Bitcoin ETF. This is actually a fund that holds Bitcoins. And you could see that within the last few days, it has jumped up significantly. And if you look at this, where this is like right, March, April timeframe when Bitcoin was getting really, really hot. And you can see this never really dropped that far. It hit a bottom right around here. And even at these levels, right, it's still way higher than when this fund, actually started. I guess that kind of makes sense. It takes time to ramp up. But still, you could see that even though Bitcoin dropped, you could see the price, how it kept dropping. You could see that the Bitcoins in the ETF didn't drop. There was no need to. People weren't panic dumping this Purpose ETF. In fact, you could see that the Bitcoin in the trust, or not the trust, in the fund, I should say, actually started increasing. Again, showing you that institutions are buying. They're buying. They're not selling. They're taking advantage of cheap Bitcoins, right? So very, very interesting. But this is also, you could see spiked up huge. So that's another very positive or bullish indicator for Bitcoin. Now, what else is there? Well, there is one other one, and that is from the Bitcoin miners. Bitcoin mining difficulty is set to increase for the first time in 8 weeks. Now, I missed the 4th adjustment. I have covered this. Bitcoin's difficulty adjusts every 2 weeks. Basically, it's set by code. It will see whether or not the miners are increasing the hash rate or decreasing the hash rate, and it will adjust the difficulty accordingly. Obviously, with a lot of miners being pushed out of China, the network detected, okay, the hash power went down significantly, so it has drop, and it's 4 consecutive weeks. And I believe, going back, we have not seen 4 consecutive adjustments, which equals 8 weeks. We have not seen a period in Bitcoin's history where we had 4 consecutive adjustments downwards. And I didn't argue that was a bottom indicator because previously we only had 3. We never had 4, right? And you can see the last adjustment was just a little bit, but now it's set to increase again. Why? Because the miners are coming back and the hash rate is starting to go up again, right? This is why Bitcoin's, I guess, network is a thing of beauty. Whoever Satoshi, whoever he or she or group, whoever they are, they created a really beautiful system where it incentivizes miners to participate, and they anticipated that, well, there may be fluctuations where some miners leave, some miners come aboard. What should we do, right? We want Bitcoin to last hundreds of years. Okay, we don't want all Bitcoins to be mined immediately. What happens if the hash rate goes up astronomically? They thought of this, and they thought of, okay, what happens if a lot of miners leave the network, right? The difficulty adjustment is a thing of beauty if you really think about it. It really designed 12 years ago, brand new blockchain, brand new proof of work consensus, brand new, whatever the adjustments. The code for adjustment, whatever you want to call it. But this is really a thing of beauty. But anyways, going back to my argument, I think this is also a bullish indicator as more and more miners spin up. We know the network overall is more decentralized. That's very positive. And the miners are less inclined to sell because there's no need to. They're not forced to move out of China anymore. So the miners will continue resuming their mining and accumulating. And that's less selling pressure on the overall market. So that's also a bullish indicator in my book. So that's very positive too. Lastly, the only other thing I want to cover is this. Binance, CZ. We know CZ hired, or I don't know if it's him directly, but we know that Binance.us hired Brian Brooks, which was a former comptroller, someone that's really knowledgeable over regulations and has an inside track to all the right people. And the reason being, Binance.us wants to IPO, and they want to be a legit exchange that's fully regulated to compete with the likes of Coinbase and Gemini and others. Now, Binance, there's a lot of regulatory uncertainty right now. It seems like all these countries are attacking it. So CZ even himself says, I may not be the right person for the job. And he's actually thinking about hiring a replacement for himself, one that does know, just like Brian, someone that knows a lot about regulations and how to work with all the regulators from around the world. So quite interesting. CZ, obviously the mastermind and genius behind Binance, grew it to where it is now. But even he recognizes his own limitations, and he may be stepping down in the near future. And who knows who takes his place? Who knows? It'd be very interesting indeed. All right. Outside of that, overall, if you go to Live Coin Watch and look at the overall market, it's slightly under 1.5. My portfolio is still doing pretty darn good, plus almost 600, a little bit down from yesterday, but still a little bit up from last night too. Overall, if you look at altcoins, still doing relatively well. 24-hour, maybe not so much, but if you look at altcoins for the last 7 days, a lot in double digits. So those of you guys that took advantage, within the last few weeks, you're doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Even a 30-day last month, you could see a lot of altcoins have turned green as well. So that's very positive. But of course, if you go out way further, 1 year, you could see that altcoins have been absolutely killing it in a good way. In a good way. So don't let the FUD, don't let the naysayers scare you out of the market. Stay strong, DCA and HODL. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right, so scrolling up. Some people do not trust GBTC, but one thing that GBTC is doing that could be iffy in the future is they're trying to convert the trust into an ETF, which is probably not going to be done for a long time. These Bitcoin ETF, the decision has been pushed back. We may not even see a Bitcoin ETF this year. However, I do think one will come. I mean, for sure, it's going to come. We already have ones from Canada, one's coming in Brazil, so it will come. So Grayscale, they're going to try to convert their trust to an ETF. The uncertainty with that is, I hear people are speculating that if you do hold GBTC at that time, you can redeem for BTC. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm hearing people talk about it, but traditionally with ETFs, that's not how it works. It's not like futures. Like futures, if you buy oil futures or whatever, you can actually try to redeem true oil or livestock or whatever, right? But hardly anyone does it, but you can. So it's not like GBTC is becoming futures. It's ETF. So I don't know if that redemption thing is really true or not, but people start talking about it. Nevertheless, it's not going to come, I don't think, this year, because a Bitcoin ETF is very different than a Bitcoin trust, and to convert it, probably another thing that the SEC is not ready to look at until 2022, 2023, or maybe even beyond. Vlad, appreciate that. Riot, Mara, both mining companies and MicroStrategy, they had plus 20% days yesterday. But today, because the market came down, they're not doing too good. Riot is down 9% today. I think like Coinbase is down 4%. Let's check Mara real quick. Mara is down 10%. So almost wiped out yesterday's gains. This is what I've been saying for a while. Bitcoin, any companies that with Bitcoin exposure has been really, really, really flat. Like even the market can move up and they have not moved at all. It seems like there's like consolidated effort to suppress anything Bitcoin right now. Even companies that holds Bitcoin or is in the Bitcoin business or provides a service, right? But it will pass. And anyone that is on the bearish side, the bear side, they will get wrecked. Just like all the short leverage traders yesterday. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time. Marshawn, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yep. "9 minutes till I snipe a Carmelo Anthony." Why would you pick up Carmelo Anthony, man? Rich, I don't know what card you're picking up, but I would suggest not picking up Carmelo Anthony's. He's not someone that anyone's going to care about in 20 or 30 years. You got to pick people that people will still care about and think they're a fantastic player or a GOAT in 20, 30 years. And no one thinks that of Carmelo even now, or even New Yorkers. Ethan, I kind of agree with that. Ace, same thing. All right. What else is there? Scrolling down. Ken, welcome. Glenn says, love you from Wales. Welcome. Have you seen Polygon saying they're going after the gaming and NFT market? I did. It's weird. DJ Flexa. They just like tweeted out this like video that didn't really show any specific projects, but they were just showing like some random stuff saying, hey, watch out, we're getting into gaming NFT, which makes a whole lot of sense, right? Unless they're coming out themselves, but normally it's just, they need to attract NFT marketplaces and gaming projects, which they have some, but not nearly as much as, say, Ethereum. But yeah, I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. Do you think EIP 1559 will pump ETH? I think so. I think leading up to the event, which is coming, I think in 1 week. I think it's August 4th. That's the anticipated date. 4th or 7th, I forget. So it's coming soon. So leading up to it, it could definitely help Ethereum. But afterwards, you're going to have some coin burning. I think that's also going to help. People still do not understand. I still see questions all the time like, how could Ethereum be deflationary when there's no max amount and there is inflation? That's true. But the coin burning from EIP 1559 will help curb that. And also, when you have a lot of people that just keep staking their ETH into DeFi projects, that is deflationary. That's taking out of supply. People are just setting it there to either earn interest with yield pools or just setting it there for some other reason, for lending, or they're putting it in and staking within ETH 2.0's beacon chain. So even though it exists, it's just locked up and not being used, right? So in essence, it's being taken out of supply. So if you look at it that way, ETH, that's why I've been so bullish on ETH, because you have institutions that's really interested. There's DeFi ETFs coming, DeFi Trust that's already here from Grayscale. So I do like Ethereum quite a bit. And I do think EIP 59 will do good things. All right, making sure I don't miss anything. Going back. Will BTC rejected at 40,000? Well, it was at 41. 41 is the big mark, I think. Not 40,000. Mina protocol, it's too cutting edge for me. And the problems with it is right now I still can't scale. So that seems to be a problem. And archiving seems to be a problem. Seems like archiving is not a priority for them, which for blockchain is actually very important. I do like AMP, Cardano I do like, Aave I do like. I think these are all fantastic projects. I think Cardano obviously is not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay a big cap. It's going to continue to do well. If you look at someone says Lonzo. I hope Lonzo goes back to the Lakers, by the way. I have a good Lonzo here. Oh, I picked up this. No, I created this. Yeah, this one's not worth anything. But here's a Lonzo Auto Prism graded 8.5 and 10. So I don't even know what that's worth. I have a ton of Lonzo rookies, but unfortunately they're not worth anything. Lucas will do well. Steph Curry's are doing very well. Carmelo's a scoring GOAT, but no one cares about that. Scrolling down, let's see. AMP, Vet 1 from Rover. That's a good lineup right there. Mark, thank you. What happened? You used to have 3K viewers. I don't know. It went up, so that's good. Why are you complaining? My 9-year-old loves your car channel. He sees every video. Wow, not even my kids have watched my car videos. That's impressive, and I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, I do have another channel, car reviews, called Drivers Only, including my own cars, which I need to do more of. So, all right. I hate when I'm scrolling and it just screws up. I lose track of where I was. I see NFTs. Marcel says, I see NFTs gaining traction again. What do you think? Projects of ERN and TVK, can they get back? I think TVK is interesting. They have a few movie studios, so I thought they would do better. Eternity Chain, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of them because they were pumped way too much. And when they finally released their like NFT stuff, it wasn't that impressive, although they were supposed to get some heavy hitters, some real athletes onto the platform, but I haven't heard much about them. And man, this chart is just brutal. But yeah, Eternity, I'm not so sure of. TVK, I hope they could come back because they signed a few movie studios, and I think, you know, that can continue on as long as there's more movies that comes out and people cares about those movies. But at least TVK, yeah, you could see it did start coming up a little bit. Julian, appreciate that. Someone asked, what is Central Standard Time? Go look it up on Google. I'm not Google. Keep, appreciate it. I have 1,500 in Shiba, down about 700. Should I take the loss and trade it for ETH? I can't tell you what to do, but, you know, I'm guessing you bought in because of FOMO, because people told you is go to the moon and stuff like this. Unfortunately, this is why you don't want to get in meme coins. Because it goes up fast, it comes down just as fast. And now there's a million different meme coins, and it just makes it harder for all the meme coins to come back up because all the liquidity is already spread out, right? Now, Shiba, I will give them credit. Even though Vitalik sold half off, right, it's still held, and they came up with Shiba Swap. So at least there's some kind of dApp under that you can use. And I hear the TVL on Shiba Swap is actually growing exponentially. So yes, they do have something going for them. But yeah, I mean, I hold no Shiba. And I would much rather own Ethereum than Shiba at this point. So that's just me. So you decide what to do. LTO, you know, LTO I have not heard much of. Man, they have fallen so much. I had an interview with Rick before. They're based in Europe. They're really catering to businesses that have you know, KYC requirements. You know, all about privacy and public and the ability to what is that? There's a term. GDPR or something like that. There was some kind of regulation that's very big in Europe that they were catering to. So I hope they could come back. I hope. Brandon, I do. Only basketball cards, though. Is Lonzo going back to LA? I hope so. You know, the only problem with the Lakers is they need some good three-point shooters. It's just like everyone at Lakers suck at shooting threes. So if they just added one or two players that can consistently hit three-pointers, they're going to be okay. But man, that last game from Giannis was just incredible. I only have one Giannis card, rookie card, and unfortunately it's not a good one. CZ follows Sonar. Can you look at them? No, not really. Where's ignoring a super chat? I didn't see it. I was wondering about Harmony. What do you want to know? Harmony is a great project. I covered them in the past. I support them. They have a good ecosystem, and they're EVM compatible. I don't think people realize how much messages I get in live chat, okay? Or yes, and how many super chats I get too. So it really irritates me as though I think it's because you guys don't know how fast things are actually scrolling. Okay, so if I miss it, it's not because I hate you. It's not because I'm intentionally taking your money and not answering. It's because I missed it. So calm down. I see some of these comments that are like so negative. Like, oh, you know, why are you intentionally not looking at it? No, it's because I missed it, okay? So chill. Boston, what do you think about the new Tucson? I don't think I reviewed the Tucson yet. Maybe no, I did. It's actually really good. Yeah, it's actually really good. I have a review video on it, so it is actually very good. Compared to the CRV or RAV4, it blows it away in terms of features and even looks. Unfortunately, though, it's slow, and you know, it's a Hyundai. It has good warranty, but it doesn't have the resale value like a Toyota or a Honda. So, all right. Michael, I love it when people say they have sources. I could say I have sources. You know, my sources is just myself, me, myself, and I. You know, I find it funny because I watch a lot of sports, you know, debates, and Stephen A. Smith always says, "My sources tell me this." It's like if you say that, you can't be wrong, because if whatever you say is wrong, you could just say, "Oh well, my source misinformed me." Right? It was not from me, it's from my source. But if it's right, then you take all the credit, right? So I hear a lot of people saying that the stock market is going to crash. Even James from Invest Answer says that he thinks it's going to come in August. It could. You know, what we're seeing right now with this, right, with the COVID scare, it could definitely trigger something else, right? We know that the market is already overheated. It shot up way higher than it should have gone, and that's because of, you know, fears of inflation, also due to the monetary policy and printing of money, right? A lot of people have money, they just throw it in everywhere. So there's a lot of that. So is that going to stop? Many people think it will, and that we will have a correction, a major stock market crash. And if it does, is it going to affect crypto? I think it will. But then again, there's other people that say we're not going to see any of that. We're going to see just more and more money flow into the market. So it's going to prevent any major crash. There might be a correction, but it could just be like a V-shaped recovery, just like before, just like last time. So I don't know who's right or who's wrong. Just like I tell you guys with Bitcoin and crypto, it could go up or down short term. So what should you do about it? You know, I think the smartest move is to just have a lot of cash on hand, so that if it does happen, you can buy the dips. You can buy things when they're at a discount, right? So I think that's the best way to look at it, Michael, is if it does come, okay. But are you ready to take advantage of it? Can you take advantage of it? I think that's a more important question. All right. Dope, always appreciate you being here. Did I miss anything? When I go on these rants, I really miss a lot of chats here. My dog is really choking in the back. Will ICP recover? Maybe. I don't know. I think it's going to take a long time, if ever. I mean, it shot up to 90 billion. I don't even know. I told you guys when it came out, I'm like, it's too hyped up. It's too hot. So it went from 90 billion down to 5 billion. Can it get back to 90 billion? I guess anything's possible. I think, but it's going to take a long time. Long time. I'm going to start using that source now. Whenever I make any kind of bold predictions or anything that I see, I'm just going to say according to my sources. Because if you say that, you're good and people will believe you. What if Tether falls and DeFi and Ethereum is dead? Why don't you ask even more silly questions like, what if aliens invade the Earth? What if there's a EMP that's launched tomorrow and all electrical grids is knocked out tomorrow, right? Why concentrate on questions like that? Yeah. My sources say crypto is the future. DCA 50, 25, 25. Yes. I agree with your source. All right, scrolling down. Down. All right. I think that's all the serious questions. So Bitcoin is still doing pretty good. Getting back up to 38,000. I think there's a little bit more weakness today because the overall market. Will there be a stock market crash in the future, in August, later this year? My sources tell me it's likely, but who knows? Who knows at this point, right? Who knows? What I do know is that there's a lot of bullish indicators. There's a lot of bullish indicators for Bitcoin. GBC premium coming up is very, very good, very bullish, which shows you there is FOMO. ETF is increasing in terms of Bitcoin holdings. That's also bullish, right? Bitcoin miners coming back aboard. Hash rate going up, difficulty going up, also bullish. These are things that I could verify. So stay strong, my friends. Bitcoin and crypto has a bright future. Don't get fudded out. And according to my sources, it's going to go a lot higher in the future. So you can bank on that. My sources told me that. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Take care, guys.